Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the Resurrected Warriors Super Battle Road stage and how we can complete the Resurrected Warriors Super Battle Road stage with only free to play units. So we've got a pretty interesting team here. Basically we have the physical Oob, we have the tech LR Maju, we have the int LR Cooler, we have the strength Frieza and Frieza's army units, and then we also have the physical Goku and we have the AGL Piccolo. So a pretty okay-ish selection of free-to-play units that you can use for the Resurrected Warriors run. Overall, honestly speaking, it's okay. There's I would say there's a little bit of a damage issue, personally speaking. You have a decent amount of control, but you lack a lot of damage. Fortunately, we have a lot of stuns, which help us out. We have a lot of attack lowering, which also helps us out. We have a lot of decent mechanics that can be able to utilize, personally speaking. So I think that would be pretty solid as a team, but I think overall, obviously, we do have to be aware of certain limitations that we face as well. So the team build pretty solid. I think obviously our pairings are going to be Oob and Maju. We're then going to also have the strength Frieza army unit alongside the metal cooler unit. Then we're going to have a floating physical Goku, and we're going to have a floating AGL Piccolo, and we're going to have a floating tech Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. Now it does sound a bit weird having him floating. Possibly could have run him and Goku alongside each other, but I wanted to kind of just have a decent amount of control between Oob and between the strength Frieza. We have two pretty decent stunners, which I think will help us out a lot. And just overall, I thought that was just a good strategy to go with. In terms of the Resurrected Warriors stage, it is pretty rough. They got a lot of health, the enemies, it seems, and so things can be a bit slow. This is probably one of the slower SBR runs. But the free-to-play SPR runs are traditionally quite slow. There's not a lot of way to work around these things. It can take a while, just because of all the different kind of metrics that go into place. You rely a lot on crits with your free-to-play teams. So it can just take a little bit of time. And the main issue is we don't have a lot of outright damage dealers. We have Metal Cooler Army, which is probably our biggest damage dealer, although realistically speaking not that great. We have the LR Tech Maju, who also can do comparatively to the rest of the team okay damage. We have Physical Oob, who takes forever to build up. We have Goku, who does alright damage, and we have Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta that does alright damage. So realistically, it is quite apparent how much we rely on Metal Cooler getting multiple crit attacks. Him firing off 2 or 3 crit supers is very, very important to our damage, because without it, we're just not going to be able to have a sufficient amount of damage. It's not going to happen. So that is what I would definitely record as being the most challenging part of this run, is the fact that we just don't have a significant amount of damage. Even Piccolo, this AGL Piccolo, he's a decent-ish unit to run. He's solid enough defensively, he's solid enough overall, but we are just running a bit low on the damage. Fortunately, the team has a lot of control, 3 stuns, a lot of attack and defense lowering as well. So as the fights wear on, we're not that big at a risk of dying, just because of how much we can debuff the enemy and the opposition. Obviously, also we have the heal from Arjube if we need it in certain situations. So, honestly speaking, not too bad. It's just, yeah, it's a very, very tight squeeze offense-wise. I think overall the free-to-play options for Resurrected Warriors we chose well from. I don't think there was anyone else that I would specifically have chosen. In terms of lead, I think that was possibly where things could be a little bit different. I think out of interest, I would have liked to have tried with a unit like Broly. Like Tech Broly, I think the LR would have been pretty good. An interesting unit to kind of utilize. But yeah, I just, I think I went for the right team build considering, the limitations in terms of the free-to-play characters and everything like that. I think overall it was pretty solid. There's not a lot of other great free-to-play options, like in terms of units. And an unfortunate thing is that the Android 16, the int Android 16 is not on Resurrected Warriors, which would have helped us out quite a bit overall. Plus, some of these units are just not spectacularly strong, unfortunately. Mech Freezer, his EZA also would have helped out overall 100%. So there's like a lot of decent units that could definitely help out this run from a free-to-play perspective that'll be coming out in future. I also, as you guys know, don't use World Tournament units because I don't think that they count. So Demon King Piccolo, for example, although obviously you can't get him with technically any summonable stones, he's not a unit that I utilized. He would have helped things out a lot, just from a tankiness perspective more than anything else, but damage as well could have been decent, especially if he transformed. So yeah, overall, just some units we were definitely missing out on. Overall, the strategy for the Resurrected Warriors Super Battle Road stage is pretty simple. Basically what you want to do is you want to keep one enemy stunned pretty much at all times. You want to try and make sure that you have one enemy stunned so that you can just focus down and put all of your remaining offense into the other unit. Like here you'll see we basically just made sure that we stun the Trunks, and then we essentially are eliminating Goten. That's kind of our strategy at this point, and it works. Obviously it comes down to a little bit of RNG. The run can be made dramatically more difficult if you miss stuns, which obviously isn't always the best feeling in the world, but especially in this stage because we don't have a lot of damage and we don't actually just have a great team, so you can feel it a lot. Like you can definitely feel it. You can feel that kind of like the necessity in stunning the unit is a lot more, I would say, than normal. But fortunately, once you cut it down to one unit, you then have the tech a la Majub, and he will debuff them quite a lot. So his debuffing comes in handy, really helps in reducing the amount of damage that they do, and lets you kind of just slowly whittle down the opposition enemy. Because now, obviously, you've managed to essentially, debuff them, you've managed to stun them, so things are definitely going a lot better. But yeah, overall, team works fine. Not the most exciting team for sure. Definitely not that thrilling to use, but overall I actually think the team is probably one of the easier ones to put together. It does have 2 battlefield LRs, which does cost a little bit of battlefield currency, which is probably hard for new players to get, unfortunately. But it's still definitely something that you can do. Like you can definitely put this team together. Honestly, I wouldn't use this team. I would 100% just use actual Resurrected Warriors category units. You have a lot of good options out there, and you have a very decent mix now. A lot of boos, a lot of freezes, a lot of Broly's, Tapions, Android 16s. Like, there's there's a lot there's a lot of decent options. So yeah, I don't want to say like you have to use this team. This just shows you basically the free to play units that are usable. I think if you were to choose any of these free to play units to actually utilize in the event, like if you were to actually take these units and actually utilize any of them in your team, I would probably suggest Metal Cooler. I think Metal Cooler is a decent choice. There's a lot of tech units in the stage, and Metal Cooler brings some very good damage overall. I would then also suggest the Goku. I think the Goku is a really good floating option. Obviously his full passive's not active, but defensively he's fine, especially for SBR without his full passive active. And yeah, just overall he's pretty solid. The Strength Freezer I wouldn't bring, although his stuns did obviously come in clutch. But overall, he's just not that strong. He also doesn't have a lot of revenge category units on the team, which is why he's not that strong. If you're going for a more revenge orientated team, then definitely you could 100% use him. The physical Oob is okay. I would probably just use the tech Alar Oob. The physical Oob's great in this final stage because of the fact that he has guard active at all times, because of the fact that we're fighting a Super Saiyan 3 Goku and a Paikuhan. But yeah, overall, yeah, it was okay. I think I would probably just use the 2 LR units. That genuinely just seems like the best strategy to go with. So yeah, that's probably the only strategy I would utilize. Again, you can see that we are focusing one unit, trying to stun up the other unit. The one you obviously have to be wary of here is this Piccolo. You don't necessarily want him to catch a super attack. Probably not the best situation. But yeah, overall, once you get Paikuhan down, things get a lot easier, and you can divert all your attention on the Goku, and then things get a little bit better. But Metal Cooler also didn't really come to the party in this final stage. He didn't really get any notable multiple attacks or anything like that, so wasn't as effective as I wanted him to be. But we do get the stun, which is great, which obviously helps us out big time. And then we can continue to work on getting Paikuhan out of the situation, which is the main priority at this point. So just continuing to work on Paikuhan, continuing to just try and whittle him down. Obviously, an important thing to remember is that the physical Oob will retain his guard against Paikuhan as long as the Goku is alive. So as long as Goku is alive, Oob will have guard, which is obviously super duper helpful. But yeah, definitely could see a little bit of a better performance overall. I think definitely some good units coming out, I think, that are going to help the free-to-play run. But yeah, I think a lot of these units are out of date. I mean, when you do your 2 best units on the team, barring physical Angel Goku, are Tech Alar Oob and Int Metal Cooler, it kind of raises a couple red flags, just because they're very old. I mean, Int Metal Cooler came out in 2019, I think, or 2019, I think, and Oob also came out around then, 2019 as well. So it was, it's very much not, exactly the easiest kind of run, especially since so many units are out of date, not as strong as you want them to be. So yeah, but overall, the run was okay. It was a bit of a grind. I didn't enjoy it as much as some of the others. A lot of the times it just felt like they had really big health pools, but then I realized I was only doing 700k with half of my attacks. So it is, yeah, it is definitely, definitely a bit of a tense situation. But yeah, overall, I think personally, more than happy with how the team did. Really, really solid job, and they got the job done, which is, you know, the most you can say, really. So yeah, but yeah, all in all, Resurrected Warriors wasn't fun, but it wasn't too bad. I did fail one run. That run, I didn't really get any luck that I needed with my stuns, which is probably why I failed. It's the most notable reason as to why I failed. When you don't get the stuns, the team just doesn't have damage. So you start to fall behind and you start to take too much damage, and then you can't really heal it up. Oob does come in handy, but he's not going to be able to help you if you cannot, you know, actually eliminate enemies. Like, there's only so much healing you can actually have in a team. So yeah, but obviously, like I said, you know, once you eliminate one of the enemies, you basically, you know, all hands on deck trying to eliminate Goku. So it does get noticeably easier once you do eliminate that enemy, but it is still a little bit risky business because, like I said, you do need to make sure that obviously you still have enough health to get through the remainder of the fight. And that's why if you don't get the stuns, you'll probably take too much damage and things just won't be as nice as you want them to be, basically. Even here, we're using a Nurse Chi-Chi.
Time to get serious.
It's like just trying to do whatever I can to essentially, like, kind of stop from taking damage and just, you know, have enough health for next turn and be able to take out Goku. We get our second Dokkan attack of the stage, which is nuts, because that just shows how long it's taken. And yeah, it was just a long stage. This stage felt super duper long, and yeah, this was just a crazy challenge overall, personally speaking. But yeah, we get the job done, and yeah, it's all worked out in the end. But I would not suggest this to anyone. If you are absolutely 100% positively desperate for the stones, and you're a new player, or you're someone who hasn't taken on the event before, and you really want to clear it, and you have no other option but to use this exact team, then yeah. But I mean, even running under a Resurrected Warriors lead, like even running under, you know, even an Int Golden Frieza will be way better than running this, because you'll have better leader stats. So yeah, but overall, we got the dub, got the victory, and that's another stage completed, completely free to play, which is good. But yeah, so that's gonna be it from you guys. Obviously, thank you so much if you are still watching the video. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a like. It really helps me out. Or if you need any help for your team, you can leave a comment and I'll try and get back to you and give you some help. But that's gonna be it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, bye.